Yes, hello. It is me. I am here and I am whispering down the microphone to you today. Why am I whispering? Well, I will tell you. I am sitting outside next to a tray of my baby seeds. I'm going to attach a photo to this video so you'll see what I mean. But I think they are just starting to grow. This might not sound like a big deal to you, but these are fever-fuel seeds that were meant to germinate in 7 to 14 days, but it's been over a month. They are still not coming up. But I see one little sprout, and some of the other seeds turning green, even though they are not putting anything out, so I'm just going to assume that they are struggling. And honestly, I don't blame them. You know, we are all struggling through these times. It is COVID, it is lockdown. Nobody is remotely happy, which is why I am here today. I was thinking and trying to think, which can be hard with a neurodivergent brain, but there's actually nothing that I could say today that has not already been said. Like we've seen the 1,000,001 Logan and Jake Paul fight videos, we've seen all the Squid Games, we've seen everything trending on YouTube. What else is there to possibly say? So, I was thinking, maybe we could do a little mental health video. Like, obviously, I have a story to tell, but it just might not be like the exciting, sensational stories that you are used to, you know? Because there's this quote that's going around on the internet saying, like, oh, when one door shuts in your face, don't take it as a no. Just take it as a surface to lean on. Of course, it was probably worded more locally than that, but I was thinking, you know, like, maybe we don't have to be striving for it all the time. Maybe we could just take the opportunity to leave. So that's what I am doing today. In a scary, uncertain world, when it feels like there's nothing much we can do, I am taking the little control that I am having. I'm growing the seeds, herbal seeds, so they can be good for you, heal you, and help you. It's another thing I saw on the internet. I've been on the internet a lot, as you could probably guess by now, but it's like the scientific test, you know, with these rats. What they did. I'm not going to say exactly what they did to these rats, but long story short, they programmed to have them depression, which is a horrible, nasty thing. Like, why would you purposely do that or something? But regardless, they gave these rats depression, and they made them feel like they had no control of their lives, you know. And then what they did is they put some rats with some seeds down in the corner of the cage, like right next to them. Like all the rats would have to do is to just reach out and grab it, you know. But they didn't. Because apparently that is a side effect of depression. When you feel like out of control after your life, there's a specific term, but it's basically you can't even do like the smallest thing to help yourself. But like what the point of this is, like, this is not meant to be a depressing story, no. What the point of this is I'm saying that in this test, the way the scientists solved these mental health issues is that they pushed their rats over to touch these seeds, and like what they did is they basically showed the rat that, look, here is something you could do. It is not all out of your reach, you know. And like when you translate this across to humans, like the equivalent, because we have no giant hand coming out of the sky, what we do is we make things. And like that's why crocheting, I've heard, that's why crocheting, needlecraft have been on the rise of lately, because people, when they make things, they feel more control of their life. They feel like their lives are worth something, and look, here is something I can do. I can make a beautiful thing, you know. Life is a little bit better now, and it looks different for some people, but it's why things like when you're locked down and there's no work and nothing to do, that's apparently why art supplies have been like, the sales of which have been climbing. So for me, I have the art, I have the needlecraft, and that's what I'm doing with the seeds, you know. I forget where I'm even going for this, but basically I'm saying that houseplants are good for your life. And also houseplants are like people, you know. Because a lot of people I have met, they say, oh, I'm not good at houseplants, I cannot grow the plant, I touch it and it dies. But I feel like that's a very capitalistic viewpoint. And yes, I am going to elaborate on this, but basically you're treating one houseplant as all the same houseplants. You see houseplant and you say, oh, I put in light, I give water, what is wrong? But like that's what we do to everyone. We give food, we give water, why aren't you happy? But the problem is that humans and houseplants, they are different from each other. The main reason why maybe you are struggling as a human and struggling with your houseplants is that you don't look into the individual. You don't look into the individual needs that it has. Like, I have about 50-something houseplants. I forgot. I don't count them all. take up all the time in my day, and even I am not that desperate and bored. But basically, the secret for having a lot of houseplants is you don't just give food, water, and light. You have different life conditions, because sometimes some plants scald, their leaves turn black, you put them in too much light. Sometimes they need lower light, or if you give them too much water, they have the root rot. Or if you don't give them enough, they just shrivel up and die and look at you depressed and say, like, look, I am a reflection of your life. See, this is why you are not doing well. But like, I get it, because like on one hand, there's that of which I say, and on the other hand, like, how do you have the energy on top of all the taxes, the finance, the dishes, the vacuuming, they're going to work, they're coming from work, they're public transport, like, oh, like, I don't blame you one bit. But perhaps it could be worth something to think of, like, if you are a depressed human, stop comparing yourself to another human, because basically, you're just like houseplant in a little pot. Your individual needs are not being met, and why would they be the same as something else? So, speaking of plants, I have a little plant story. It is the most wholesome story I can think of right now, which probably isn't a lot, to be fair, because I am losing brain cells by the day. But here is a wholesome story I am going to tell you. Once upon a time, a long time ago, I was on Facebook. Surprise, surprise. Now, this was back in the day when Trade Me was making the news every other week. But I don't know why, but for a while, a good while, Trade Me was breaking, like, I think it was the world record for, like, most expensive houseplants sold. I think it was, like, beginning of pandemic when people, this was before people realized that you cannot just have a houseplant with genetic needs. They were like, oh, I am in lockdown. What am I going to do? I'm going to buy the houseplant. So everyone was on Trade Me buying houseplants. And like, as it is, when you get into a hobby, you are guaranteed going to find those people who want to be the best, the brightest, the most expensive. You don't have no shame to be. If that is your thing, go for it. Good for you. Glad you have that meaning in your life. But regardless, for a while, Trade Me was going through this phase where, like, every other week they were breaking the record for most expensive houseplant. It was going up by thousands of dollars. And like, the common denominator in all of this was like the most expensive houseplants ever bought was like these variegated ones, like Monstera variegated Diablo, or like Monstera Santagara variegated, or variegation pink. Like, no one knew who was doing this. Like, who the fuck is going to buy millions of dollars worth of houseplants, like variegated houseplants, pink houseplants? You can't even look after that dang thing because, like, a houseplant is finicky enough as it is. But if you specifically go with these obscure breeds, then of course they're going to be more delicate. And then when you add the variegation, it's going to be more delicate again. But regardless, there was some bandit, there's some mysterious figure of the night and the internet trading in all his Bitcoin, most likely, because exactly, he was spending thousands of dollars. Who on earth is going to those? It was like, that's one thing. If you've got some mysterious bandit in the dead of the night doing this, winning all the bids, no matter how priced the high, no matter how high the price, there's going to be conspiracy theories about this. There's going to be, like, the little people who are following this, like. And so that's another thing about New Zealand, because that is where I am. In case you couldn't tell by the accent, is that there are houseplant groups, and not only are there houseplant groups, but there are houseplant groups. There are high priority, high maintenance houseplant groups, houseplant groups dedicated to the region. And like, every time Trade Me was making the news going, oh, he's done it again. Then overnight he appears. He's spent all his Bitcoin, his kryptonite, he's bought the bond. Who is he? Who is this man? Why? And everyone was like coming on with their conspiracy theories and like, oh, or like the day someone would list like the latest expensive houseplant, someone's gonna post up a link and be like, oh, or like if anything comes up variegation or not, they'll be like, oh. Well, like, basically what they would do is they post up the links that and we'd all watch the saying like, oh, here he's coming for his bid, he's serious this time, because he was always serious at what he was doing. But like, basically the houseplant groups of New Zealand basically turned onto these fan groups of, oh, look, here he comes, here's the latest one, I bet he's gonna spend this much on that. And like, we're all watching this guy, because we didn't know who the fuck he was. Like, he wasn't popping up in any of the groups, like, no one was coming forth to brag about these plants, It was all very mysterious. So I don't know how he knew, but one day it was like probably millions, but like thousands. I think it was like $3,000 and something, like the most beautifully glorious. Like, it wasn't even on stairs at this point. It was like a long, thin climbing plant. They probably need a wooden pole to climb up. Maybe it was a pothos, I don't know. But basically, the day after this plant was bought on train, he was like, I think it made one news. And they made some like news channel, and everyone was like, why would you spend so much money on a plant? Because like, yes, it is a pretty plant, but like, we have limits, you know, we have lives, or at least if you're going to be spending like thousands of dollars every other week, because it was every other week at this point. The dude was coming, I don't know what he had done in his life, but like, everyone was wondering, like, if you've got that much money to drop every single week on another mysterious plant, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, invest in real estate, buy the Dogecoin, like, invest in like some Russian media meme farm in the Ukraine. I don't freaking know, but like, anyway, I don't know how he knew this, but the day after, it was like the biggest record ever broken, all-time sky high. The plaguers on Facebook were going nuts. They're all like boggling our little brains, trying to figure it out, and then it becomes the guy actually shows his face. And like, this was the absolute last. I think once he had shown his face, like, kind of like beat the mystery, if I'm being honest. Like, there was no more like making breaking news, but basically he's like, yes, hello, it is me. What I am is I am actually an entrepreneur, and this like well-dressed Asian man, business suit, probably, I don't know, I'm not going to hypothesize, but basically he was coming up, and there's a photo of the latest plant he was bought. Like, it is me, I have put the plot, and you know, this is time I reveal my secret plan. Now, I will make a little disclaimer here. This was a while back, and my memory's pretty shit if you know me, but I am telling this story to the best of my memory. I'm genuinely sorry if I'm getting things wrong. But basically, he was a man saying, yes, haha, it is me, I bought all the plants, and you want to know why? You want to know why I'm doing this? Because I am an entrepreneur. What am I going to? Am I going to sell the plants? No. Even better, you can come and look at them for free. Because basically what this entrepreneur young man was doing is he was holding all the plants to share with the community. He was trying to make a cafe, and like, I think it was somewhere in Auckland, I don't freaking know, but basically what I'm trying to say, somewhere out there, in like some far obscure corner of the world, there was going to be this one dude who owns a cafe. It's the most beautiful cafe in all of the world. All these plants, all these rare plants here. So he's just basically wants to build the cafe. He's like just stock every rare plant that he's bought over all this time. Just put them in, and we all go look at them. To be honest, if I'm being brutally honest here, he's probably going to have to get very good security system as well, because that's another thing. When all this conspiracy theory was going on, it was like another subgroup of conspiracy theory. Like, someone will post up a picture saying, like, oh, stole my plant, because there'll be these people that have like these really beautiful variegated plants. And because this guy was like driving up the markets, he was like making it all go wild. It was basically adding to this whole mystery and intrigue, right? There's going to be this other subgroup of bandits who come along and take without purchasing, daft scoundrels that they are. But basically, they were like checking everything variegated, and I'm probably going to wait until they had died down a bit to split it up, cut it, propagate, and then put it on tray me for their own purchase, you know? But basically what I am saying is, if this guy, bless his heart and soul, is going to make his own cafe, and honestly, I hope he is doing well, you know? Because the lockdown, the hospitality industry has been hard. I don't know how they're surviving, to be honest. We must look after them. But basically, if he's going to have this cafe sky high to the brim with beautiful plants, $1,000 plants, like, oh freaking course, there's going to be some bandit, or even if they don't steal the plant out of it, they're going to come along and take sneaky little snip cutting on the plant, you know? Like, I can already predict the future here. I'm going to be fortune teller. Oh, magic genie of the lamp, tell me your secrets. Well, darlings, the secret for today is people, when they are coming along and taking cutting of plant for profit, for treasure, are not going to realize that you have to take cutting a specific way. When the plant is already delicate, because it's $1,000 plant, they just die at the drop of a hat. What they don't realize is that when there's variegation as well, and you take cutting, probably high stress because you're in hospitality environment, for one, and for two, you're trying to take the cutting without sneaky getting caught. That plant is going to die. Like, that cutting is going to die. Guaranteed. So of course they're going to come back with a chainsaw probably this time, going, yeah, take all the cuttings and the plant will be ruined. So what I am saying is, this guy, I hope he has a good security system, because he will need it, darling, trust me. I don't know how this story ended up like this. Was meant to be wholesome. I'm so sorry. I was meant to tell you a nice, wholesome, calming little story to be like, oh, hello, have a good day. I know our days are shit right now, but hopefully this will make you feel better. And if anyone was like there in the moment when it happened, please leave a comment, because I'm like curious, like he didn't give the name of his cafe, he didn't say like, oh, it's on this street at this location. It's like, basically he just said like, oh, this is why I'm buying all these plants, I'm making a cafe and it will be open soon, you can all come and see. So if you know where the cafe is, please tell me, because I would very much like to go take a fancy Instagram selfie, buy the man a coffee. Thank you for sharing your plants with us. Like, we don't have the thousands of dollars that you do, but you're a good man, sharing with the public. Even if you gotta get your own profit, because honestly, he's gotta make his money back somehow by spending all that much. That's good. I like that he shares the plant with the community. It's probably very photogenic. So we've got like the cat cafe that I need to go to once lockdown is over. We've got the plant cafe that I need to go to once lockdown's over. We need the herb. Is there going to be a herb cafe? Because I've been getting into medicinal herbs recently, and I want to buy some, to like grow, look after my friends. Like in world uncertain, expensive, capitalistic world, the best thing you can do is you can learn to grow your own produce and make your own things. That's why I am here today. I am making you a thing. And here's the thing that I have made that is more right. So, this art was meant to be scary, It's the Lady Sirena sitting in the nature going to bring down a man. Because what is with that? What is with that? In every fairy tale, every man who was lured to his death, he's like, oh, she was in the woods alone. She lured me to her, and then I died. But what is with that? Because they never say, like the most she was doing is just sing. Like, let a woman sing. Let a woman have her hot girl summer by herself. Let her have some alone time. Like, what is it with men coming along, having to inject themselves? But regardless, I was wanting to make this like a scary, formidable, interesting art piece. But as some things turn out, sometimes when you write a story, the story writes itself. And today, this art piece, it made itself. So here is the art. She did not want to be formidable today. She just wanted to sit there. So this is what we have. It's my new thing. Hope you like, and hope you'll subscribe. By all means, let me know if you want me to story tell a specific thing, or make a YouTube video about a specific thing. Let me know, hombre, because that is what I am here for. And until next time, sayonara.